167107966. I'm real. Bye.
Just walk away.
Hello my beautiful people, hello my fellow Sinisters, it's your boy Vitaly and welcome back to Vitalyspace. As you know, on this channel we always talk about the golden age of the internet, which is Myspace obviously. Especially the subculture side of it, the alternative side, where pretty much every scene kid had their favorite Myspace crush plastered all over their profile. That's right, if you had a scene haircut, you were destined to become the original internet influencer before it even was a thing. And that's exactly what was happening. A lot of scene boys began blowing up on the platform, becoming the ultimate heartthrobs of the scene. The names like Cameron Nugg, Alex Evans and Andy Sixxx didn't just define a generation, they owned it. Many people started creating thousands of fake profiles pretending to be them. And I was one of those people. I would catfish the hell out of everyone. Hashtag confessions, but you guys know about it already. And let me tell you something. General public fell for it really hard. So today I wanna look back at this iconic era and discuss the most notorious names of that time, as well as find out whatever happened to them and what they're up to nowadays. Male edition. So buckle up legend, you're definitely not ready for this one, only on Vitalyspace. But before we get started, legends, this video is sponsored by myself. Please do me a favor and after this video, go and check out two of my previous ones. They severely underperformed, cause I was covering some pretty dark stuff in there. And YouTube decided to go ahead and age restrict it, unfortunately. Like this video, cause you guys are my biggest motivation to keep doing this type of content, a very niche content. And do not forget about my personal channel, Vitaly for the record. So if you wanna see me behind the scenes, definitely check it out. But anyways, I gotta shut up. Let's start from the very beginning, shall we? And the first guy that I want to talk about is... any guesses? Mr. Alex Evans, obviously, the pioneer of Myspace scene world. By the way, I just want to throw this out there. So, before making this video, I reached out to Alex personally. I was wondering maybe he wanted to do an interview for my channel, but he never responded. So we have what we have. Alexander Evans, also known as Asphyxia 3D on Myspace, was born on July 20th, 1990 in Montreal, Canada. And since the majority of Montreal's population speak French, his native language was also French. I hate to break it to you. But he started learning English by himself when he was still a kid. Photography has always been a significant part of his life. He began taking photos at the age of 14, doing photo shoots for a bunch of his friends and sharing it on his blog. But that were his own self-portraits that really catapulted him into the web stardom. Over time, people began to appreciate his work, and that's how it all started. Doing what he truly desired was always his lifelong dream. And before he even knew it, his Myspace profile amassed over 100,000 friends, which was so crazy for that time. It's time to use our favorite instrument, which is the Wayback Machine, and check out Alex's Myspace profile. What it looked like in 2007 to be exact, and 2008 too. This is your last chance to like this video, by the way, or I'm gonna have to call my lawyer otherwise. But anyways, let's see. Okay, that's a cool profile picture. Check out the new photo gallery. 18 years old, male, Montreal. Now, let's scroll down a little bit. Don't wait for things to happen, force them to happen. On the left we can see a bunch of his black and white webcam pictures. We love the aesthetics. And there's also the About Me section, so let's read it together, shall we? I feel like I've grown up so much and so fast over the past years that it scares the hell out of me. As much as I want to settle down and take time to enjoy life, I know the clock is ticking and won't stop just for me. To be honest, Mr. Alex, that's so relatable, like, I can relate 100%. You better join our anxious community, legends. I think fast, make crazy decisions, and hate to be told what to do and what to think. I'm very independent, but I do depend on certain people and things. I do not smoke, barely ever drink, and do not use drugs. I just never believed in all that crap. I've got more important things to worry about. Okay, Alex, that's a pretty good start, what can I say? Now, moving on to the interesting part. For some reason, I somehow became famous on the internet over the past years. I don't hate it, but I cannot say I like it. There is absolutely nothing I can do without being judged. Welcome to the web of the 2000s, baby. It feels like everybody has high expectations of me, and it kills me. I'm really not the one who wants to please everybody. I treasure being who I really am. I don't want to be just another famous face. I like to express myself through words, photography and music. I was getting comments from some old random people, and they were being so mean. Perhaps jealous. That is the scary part of the whole thing. If Mr. Nobody posted a video on YouTube, they would not be judged for how random the video can be and for what they look like. Okay, a little shade to all the nobodies out there. I do not understand how people can be so judgmental. If there is one thing I hate more than everything, it's people judging other people. No one should have the right to do it. To be honest, guys, I can understand where he's coming from, cause the internet of the early 2000s was a wild, wild west. So I feel like that's a good message for the person who was going through it at the time. And by the way, in his hero section, he has the one, the only, Marilyn Monroe. How iconic is that? He might be just another scene boy from Myspace, but he has a great taste, let me tell you. Okay, I'm not gonna be reading all of this, there is too many paragraphs that he wrote, but let me find the most interesting parts. Let's see. Who I'd like to meet. A person I could never get enough of. So deep. So 2008. I do not have a clear idea of what I'd like to do as a job when I'm older, because I like way too many things. I've had my own clothing line since I was 15. By the way, yes, I remember this brand. Back in the day, he would always post pictures with his brand. That would say Heartbreaker. Buy now, available on heartbreaker.com or whatever the hell that is. But anyways, legends, enough of reading. I feel like you get the approximate idea of what kind of person Alex was back in the day. Oh, and by the way, another fun fact that I didn't know about him. Did you know that Alex Evans had a music career? Yep. And little Vitaly was using his pictures to catfish people, and he didn't even know the life story of this person. Iconic. Mostly because I would create my own life story for them. Remember, only God can judge ya, forget the haters, cause somebody loves ya. But anyways, he had a musical project with one of his friends from Los Angeles, Mark Chrisman. Together, they created a duo under the name Mark and Alex in 2007. And what's so interesting about this entire project is that they were doing it on a distance. Yes, Mark lived in Beverly Hills and Alex was back home in Canada. And they were like online colleagues. This is so 2007, the time when long-distance friendships, relationships and even career and musical projects was a thing. Now, this is what their joint profile looked like. Let's check it out. More than 100,000 profile views, which is kind of impressive for a side project, you know? Unfortunately, a lot of pictures on this page are not loading after all this time, but at least we see the main information that we need. Member since July 2007. Band members: Mark Chrisman, Alex Evans. Sounds like two random guys making music. Record label unsigned. In case if you have no freaking idea who Mark Chrisman is, cause me neither, being honest. Let's read it together. Mark Chrisman is the first half of Mark and Alex. He's 20 years old and is currently a UCLA student. Music has always been his passion. He and Alex met about a year ago in 2006 and ever since have been really good friends. They like to share their interests and do projects together. It's one of the reasons why they decided to do this band thing. Long story short, they met online and they're good friends. They were good friends, at least. In 2008, they released the 4-songs EP under the name Rush. As you can tell, they were making a pretty sentimental pop music, which was a breath of fresh air at the time. Cause we all know what kind of music the scene kids would usually do. Which is also great, but the main point here is they were just different. But sadly, this project didn't last a long time. Later that year, in 2008, the group disbanded. There is not a lot of information out there on what Mark Chrisman is up to now, but I was able to find his LinkedIn profile. Here is what he looks like nowadays, and according to his profile, he's currently self-employed since 2018 and does real estate. So lay. When the group disbanded, the guys went on to their separate ventures. Alex continued to run his Myspace profile and photography blog, but he was being less and less active on social media. And by the end of 2010, beginning of 2011, he would stop posting pictures whatsoever, which led to countless conspiracy theories alleging that he's unalive, which was so on brand for the web of that time. A little fun fact. Well, it is not really that fun if you think about it. But anyways, Mr. Evans was so freaking popular in my country, in Russia. And I remember around 2011 there was this huge rumor going on in my country that Alex Evans visited Ukraine and he never went back home to Canada cause allegedly he was killed in Ukraine. To say that everybody was talking about it would be an understatement of this century, my legends. And all those speculations snowballed to the point where Alex had to make an official statement on his blog in 2011, claiming that he's not dead. I'm not dead, I promise. I've just been extremely busy with university and side projects. The first semester went okay. It was all about adjusting myself to the new experience, I guess. And the grades I would get were excessively depressing. And it made me realize that I really have to pay more attention to my schoolwork. He also claimed that at the time he started working for this Canadian fashion magazine as a graphic designer, creative director and photographer. He also promised to blog more often. This is what he looked like in 2011, by the way, at the time of writing that post. By 2012, he transferred all the way into photography world. And once again, he was being less and less active on social media. With that being said, let's transform 10 years later. No, not 10, 13 years later, 14 years later, Jesus! I'm so lost in time, as you can tell. What the hell is Alex Evans up to nowadays? As of 2024, Alex Evans lives in Los Angeles and he made photography his full-time job. He's currently 34 years old and he looks like this nowadays. I believe he's in his blonde era. What do you guys think? Did he change? Let's find some more of his pictures before we get into his photography work. I mean, he still looks great, what can I say? His signature big eyes are his brand. By the way guys, I just realized that I've never heard him speak. I feel like nobody knows what he sounds like in real life. Conspiracy. And that's why I invited him over to my channel. But I feel like he doesn't want to be associated with Myspace anymore. Who knows? In the end of the day, it's been 15 years since that era and people change. But anyways, speaking of his work, guys, he's a pretty successful photographer here in Los Angeles, not gonna lie. His works are so good, it's given high fashion, Hollywood magazine glamour. Look at this, so gorgeous. And he even worked with Sydney Sweeney, which is a pretty impressive credit for his portfolio. The next Myspace legend that I want to talk about is Cameron Clayton, better known online as Cameron Ugg.
Hey everyone, it's Cameron Ugg. I'm just making this video to update you all on what's going on.
Before we get any further, I want to clarify that nowadays Cameron is a trans woman that goes under the name Farrah Moan, so I'm gonna be using she pronouns from now on. But anyways, Cameron was born in September of 1993 in Houston, Texas, and became a prominent figure in the mid-2000s scene culture. She adopted the moniker Cameron Ugg during her teenage years, a name that became synonymous with being the coolest kid on MySpace. Her unique aesthetic and active online presence garnered a substantial following, making her one of the platform's notable personalities. And obviously, her newfound fame led to thousands of fake profiles using her pictures. And what did people do in this case scenario? That's right, they would make video proofs.
167107966. I'm real. Bye.
Beyond MySpace, Cameron was also active on platforms like Steadicam, which is a whole different topic by the way. It was a wild west of the web, and was associated with so-called online perfection groups, such as the Super Elite Perfection. Remember those groups where they would only accept the coolest kids of MySpace, and they would help each other grow in there. So-called the mean girls of MySpace, operated by the local Regina George. I found this interview with Farrah from this YouTube creator, The Emo Chronicles, and this is how Farrah described her experience with these groups. Check it out.
Back in the MySpace days, something that coincided with the trains was they were perfection trains. So there were some trains that they would just let anyone on, but the perfection trains, you had to be like Myspace elite and have like, you know, the perfectly photoshopped pictures and, you know, like just look seen as fuck. It was kind of comparable to like a Facebook group where it was a private forum where everyone could talk about different topics. People could Photoshop each other's photos or whatever. At some point in 2007 or 8, I got accepted into aesthetic perfection and vanity is perfection and then perfection dolls. You had to put the abbreviation in your name. So it was like Camera Nug, AP, VIP, PD. If you didn't put that in your name, you were immediately banned from the group. And if like anyone tried to put those tags in their name that wasn't in the group, people would find a way to like get your account deleted somehow. I don't know. They could always find some terms of service violation that you did and report you for it. So
how many people were in the groups, like per group?
I want to say like at most, I remember like 150. Like if you weren't active enough or if your photos weren't good or like your new photos weren't good or you had pissed off enough people in the group for whatever reason, they could like vote you to be like deleted from the group. It was very like RuPaul's Drag Race, like, sorry, my dear, you're up for elimination.
And after the days of MySpace, Cameron transitioned into the world of drag, adopting the stage name Pheromone.
It's a new day, which means a new challenge.
As Pheromone, she gained further recognition by participating in season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race, where she finished in 8th place, and later appeared in the 4th season of Drag Race Soul Stars, placing 9th. By the way, fun fact, so I posted this video on TikTok a few months ago, where I showed all those pictures that I used to catfish people in 2009, and one of them was Cameron Ugg, and Farrah actually commented on that video, saying that she spotted herself. That was so embarrassing. On her Instagram profile, Farrah occasionally dresses up as a scene queen, and honestly, it's such a full circle moment. We'll love Pheromone on this channel. Now, before we get to the next MySpace pioneer, I wanna claim that in this video I'm not gonna be covering Andy Sixxx, aka Andy Sixxx, the frontman of Black Veil Brides, simply because I already covered his MySpace presence in this video, so definitely check it out. The next person that I want to talk about is Davey Havok, lead vocalist of the rock band AFI. Yes, unlike previous people, he is a famous musician first and foremost, and he is a celebrity, and has been for a long time before MySpace even existed, but his active presence on the website was unmatched. I got introduced to AFI band when I was still a kid, and at first I thought that Davey Havok was a woman. I mean, no wonder why. He was probably the first man in makeup that I stumbled upon. In Mother Russia. Oh no, I'm lying. The first one was Marilyn Manson. But he scared the hell out of me back in the day, unlike Davey. Davey's distinct aesthetic became the blueprint for many scene kids that emulated his look on their own profiles. He used MySpace not just to promote AFI's music, but to connect with his fans on a deeply personal level. He was also notorious for being friends with Jeffree Star, who was also a prominent figure in MySpace scene.
Hi everybody, we're in San Francisco.
No, we're not. We're in Berkeley.
We're in Berkeley, and I have no makeup on.
I have no makeup on.
Hi.
Oh, it's video. I thought you were trying to take a picture. I was like,
hi everybody.
He has no makeup, and I have no makeup and a beard.
I have a beard tomorrow morning when I become a man again. Hi.
In 2007, they teamed up to model for Tarina Tarantino's jewelry, guys, I cannot pronounce this word, jewelry line. You got it, that line was called Tokyo Hardcore. Dave and Jeffree were seemingly so close. They would always post videos and pictures together, and that close friendship prompted to a lot of rumors of being a homo on Dave's part, as well as intense mockery on MySpace.
We're in San Francisco. No, we're not. We're in Berkeley.
But over time, their public interactions seemingly diminished. As a matter of fact, in 2021, Davey mentioned something that made a lot of fans speculate. He mentioned that one of his friends stopped talking to him once he reached a significant fame level, stating the following: "I thought they were a very wonderful person and very kind, and we had a friendship, and then they stopped talking to me." And while he didn't specify any names, some fans claimed that he was talking about Jeffree Star. As of now, there is no information about the current status of their friendship, but something tells me that they do not keep in touch anymore. As of January 2025, the band Davey remains an active force in the music scene. They went on tour in 2024 and in 2025 they're gonna continue that same tour, with performances scheduled in Mexico and Japan. And by the way, speaking of Davey Havok, all of a sudden he started looking so freaking good. Now that's a glow up, he's legit a heartthrob nowadays. But anyways legends, and on this iconic note, I feel like that's gonna be it for today's video. Please like this video if you wanna see part 2 of this segment. I hope you remember that in the end of every video we meet in the comment section down below to discuss the topic. Subscribe to my channel cause I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers in 2025, and I feel like it's more than possible. Follow me on Instagram at Vitaly for the record, subscribe to my personal channel Vitaly for the record as well, and remember, your ex is effing toxic. The best way to make them bitter is to become successful. Bye my legends!